So it's interesting how everything is going to become exposed all at once. But that's because they're all connected to each other. NASA scamming us for forever is going to be the big one. And it's going to definitely happen. Let me explain something that you might not realize. The difference between true wind and apparent wind. Apparent wind, if you're going downwind in a sailboat, it feels less windy because you're traveling with the wind. Pilots know the same thing because of the jet stream and it taking longer to go west than it does to go east. It takes, according to NASA, between 4 and 36 hours to go 254 miles to the International Space Station. Even the fast route is 60 miles per hour. It would fall out of the sky. And SpaceX's Dragon X, which took 36 hours to get there, means it traveled 7 miles per hour. And of course, this is what NASA's going to say. They're going to say, well, we had to speed up. We had to travel faster and faster and faster. Which would explain what? It's in our own magnetosphere. It would fall back to Earth if it wasn't traveling so fast at a slight upward trajectory, which is the way that they keep things in orbit. By flying them a little bit away from even, so that they stay up. Well, there's a problem with that. If there's no wind on Earth, and you get in a car, or even ride a bike, you're going to create wind because you're traveling in a direction. So, all of those spacewalks, all of the space shuttle cargo bay doors opening, and people fixing things, it did not happen up there because that would be impossible. Then you have the problem of 5G, which according to AI goes 30 to 50 miles, but they say it can go hundreds of kilometers for satellites. There's a problem because Mars is 286 million miles away. Do you honestly think that a microwave energy signal can travel that far? And if you do believe that, think about this. The sun gives off cosmic radiation that is molecule breaking. So, waves or light are molecules, and they would disintegrate in space. So there would be no way for that signal to even exist outside of our water bubble, which includes air, because that's water vapor. That's where humidity comes from. So even in a desert, there's 20 to 30% humidity. That's because it's water vapor. We can hear sound and see light because we exist in a water bubble. Waves created on this planet will only work on this planet. It would disintegrate. And I doubt highly that it gets beyond the Van Allen belts, because those are supercharged with ionic molecule breaking radiation. So saying that we have a signal here on Earth and we're beaming it out to communicate outside of our magnetosphere is purely ridiculous. So NASA, sorry, you've been caught. And I swear, if you try to follow through with scamming us again, there's going to be backlash from the scientific community. Now, I'm not a scientist, but I just know common sense, and I taught science to 8th graders for a decade. So I know a little something, but I don't have a degree in it. But I'm going to find people who do, and they're going to back up my words. Why would NASA tell us this for so long? Well, it's their job. It's their job to scam us and to make us think, nope, we haven't found anything yet. We went to the moon, and nothing was here. Then we sent out Voyager, and it went way out. Haven't found anything yet. We zipped by all the planets. We slingshot around every planet, and we looked real hard for life, and we found nothing. That's their job, to tell us they found nothing. Why would they do that? Roswell. They found something, and they found it on Earth, and since then, there's been increased UFO activity, or craft crashing, mostly on foreign soil, which is why we have 800 bases on foreign soil, so that we can strong-arm those governments and military, steal it, bring it back here, put a patent on it, and then that way, it's military property and worthy of protecting, because it would be a matter of national security if it were found out that they had it. You know what that's like? That's like me stealing a really expensive car and then registering it in my name and everybody agreeing that I own it. That's ludicrous. So they're protecting advanced technology today that is meant for the world. These alien crafts that keep coming aren't doing it so that our military can have an advantage in the world. They're doing it because we're ready to advance. Our military and government are holding us back. And it's the sickest thing in the world. And that's why what's going on today with the depopulation agenda. We're being killed slowly with 5G. I'm so glad I'm here in Low Dose America. It's the only place where there's a community and a low dose. I'm not going to go live in the middle of the woods. I'm not going to go live in some Arctic tundra. I love people, and I'm here to help. So all of the people who come down from mainland to the Keys, they see my car, and you know, a couple of people laugh about it, but I tell them the signal goes 50 miles. So when I look out at my view of 50 miles, I don't see towers. I don't see high rises with transmitters. I also know there aren't a million people that also have Bluetooth and routers in their homes. All of that creates a high dose. And a dose is what you get every day. No, there's not conclusive evidence yet, but are you going to wait for it? This is the safest place to be, and to still have a community. And it's so important for people to understand that it's going to take 15 to 20 years for the damage to show up. But the kicker's this. It's not just cancer. It's your broken DNA, which you pass down to the next generation to start life. That means they're going to have neurological difficulties. It means that there's going to be ADD, ADHD. There's going to be birth defects. There's going to be a lot of really major problems. And doctors will say it's hereditary illness. They'll say it's hereditary illness because of the broken DNA. Well, you got that from your parents. The people alive today need to stop not believing science. And our media needs to expose this. So, I would never be believed in Columbus because everybody wants things to stay the same. Well, I want things to stay the same here. See, I'm telling the same narrative. But I want them to keep things the same. To not increase the dose. To not do what the feds are giving lots of grants for. They're giving grants to make the road safer, which means adding more 5G, more cameras at the intersections, more lights. A high dose heats you up. It causes thermal heating. So if you're wondering why it's so hot, it's not climate change. It's happening to your own body because of an invisible wave. It's a high dose. I'm going to stop ranting and raving because I don't need people to change anymore. I just need to convince them to keep it the same and to please go back home and tell your mayors and governors, because I visited all 48 and gave them handwritten letters. I'm done. I've done my part. Now it's time for other people to say what I'm saying. The science is out there. It's up to you to believe it, though.